Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Find Your First Client for creating stories. We have Sagar with us today.
Hey people, thank you a lot, Vikram.
Yeah, so as you know, for those who are watching this as the first video along with the others, so this is an initiative where we are sharing an idea to create a business, and we would recommend you to watch the previous videos. A short recap is pretty much the business idea here is to give your client a piece of story, so one story each day, 30 days, a package of stories, and continue it month over month, and you charge them for that service. All the details are in the description below, the original idea and everything. You can go there and watch. I will not repeat myself here. So straight away going to the today's episode, and one of the thing that we are doing here is we have created a framework, a 5-step framework, and today I think we are sharing step 2 of the framework, and let's dive into it without wasting further time. So yeah, so the step 2 is who is your client. So that is what we will answer today, and we will show you sub steps, a 3-step process to discover who is your client, which is also important because, as they say, after you find your niche, you need to know exactly who is your target client so that you can start your business. So the 3 steps that I want to share you is this one. So first part is list down 5 professions around your topic. So on the step 1, we have picked a topic. For our volunteer, it was sales, but you can pick the topic that you want, and also you can watch episode 2 for how to pick the topic and what ticks you. So list 5 professions related to the topic. The second step is to ask a question on Twitter, and the third is to shortlist one profession out of the 5 profession. So I'll walk you through in a detail a bit on how we can do this. So the first one is list down the 5 profession on the topic. So let me give you an example here so that it makes clear. For example, for our volunteer who has picked sales, so I'll give you 2 example. The rest 3 that person has to find themselves. So the topic that person has chosen is sales. So one common theme that I can think about is sales consultant who comes into the company and provide leads or convert opportunities, those kind of people, and who actually does the work. And the other one is a sales coach, trainer, or a author. So those are the 2 profession could be. Similarly, there are other profession. If I have to pick something from a different world, let's say design world. So if you say about interior design, so there are different profession in interior design. For example, the person who does the interior for you, who is an architect, could be an architect or could be an interior designer. And there are nowadays there are interior stylists. So you have to be very specific about whom you are picking as your client, because each one will have their own requirement in a way, or the quotes that we are only talking about, quotes or good words by the experts in your field. So an architect's ideal could be someone else, but an interior stylist, our ideal could be somebody else. So we have to pick and choose very carefully. So it could be a bit of a long process, but you have to sit with it and list down 5 of the profession. So once you did that, it's based on your own knowledge. Now you have to get the knowledge from the community. So whichever profession that you have chosen, so the next step is to ask a question. I will share exactly what question you should ask, but the whole idea is to ask a question about the profession or industry on your topic. And the idea here is to at least ask 50 people. So 10 people for each topic you have to ask that you think matches. So how you will do is, for example, if you have a sales coach, so you will search for sales coach on Twitter, especially there's an option near you. So if you can pick that option near you and you can search them, and then you have to pick anybody who has given them their bio as a sales coach or a sales trainer. You can select them and ask a following question, which I will share with you shortly. So this is the question that you will ask. So here, do you think sales coaches should be more active on social media? This is the exact, you can copy paste this question and ask them. We are selling them stories, or we will create stories for them on behalf of them, but ultimately it's all about being more active on social media. And the reason we are emphasizing on the word active is because in our offering we are selling something daily. So basically that will help them to be active without any effort. It's pretty much effortless. You just have to post, not have to think or create or anything about it. So this is the question that you will post. And so basically 5 profession into the above question to 10 people equal to 50 people. So you will do that. So it shouldn't take maybe an hour or two it will take to test this out. And that's step 2. The step 3 here is shortlist one profession. So now how will you do that? So the people who with the profession with maximum yes, that is out of 10 people, uh, that should be your client. So if people in that industry agree that they should be more active, which means there is an interest. So there is something called as creating an interest or finding an interest. So is there a need? So there is a term in sales which is called as need. So if there is a need, that is helping you to convert a lead, or it is an indication that the lead can be a prospect or a future client. So asking this question is answering to that. You get an idea, okay, this profession is giving more like being active. So, so there are two answers that are getting two questions that are getting answered here. First of all, these people are a little bit active, so at least they've responded to your question, so they are almost on their path and they agree to you. So you're testing both of them. For example, if say, just for argument, there is no evidence for it, but say you pick sales professor as your candidate, and they are like the big professors who are working on top colleges of India. And if you tweet, and they happen to have a Twitter account, which most likely, so they could be a marketing professor or a sales professor or anybody. And if you ask them on Twitter, like, do you think sales professor or marketing professor should be more active on social media? In with my judgment, like, they might not even watch their Twitter for many years, many months, or they are not active, so they might not respond. And some might no, they don't need, because they're at a stable job. They are very secure from that point of view, and they don't want their personal brand to be out. Whereas in the sales coach point of a place, they can be more active. So yeah, here there could be some judgment liking, but this test will qualify. And if none of them reply, that means you have to repeat this whole process like we did in the past. The whole process is a cycle. So you have to come up with next 5 and ask them, because you need people to answer. Otherwise you don't really know if the profession that you pick are people who are looking to be more active in that sense. So that is that. And what happens if you have a tie? So if there is a tie where you have 5 response for a profession A and 5 response for profession B, in this case sales coach and sales consultant, so whichever you find interesting, personally you can pick. Both are equally active. And you all this data will be used, because in the end of the whole entire framework completes, I will explain you how you can use this tie data, or where there are conflicts, or where you can't not able to make any decision, you keep them, you go with one. And I will explain you at the end how you can use the one which is left out, uh, if you have to use it, or it's not compulsion. So that is episode. That was for the next episode. The next episode is pretty much the case study. So if you see the title of it, would be the case study on the same thing. So this 3-step process, we will ask our volunteer to perform it, and we will share the data with you. We will share with you what are the 5 profession on the topic of sales that person has selected, how many questions, how so that person will ask to 50 people. So we will mention I mean, definitely there is nothing to mention here because that person will do that 50 tweets. What we in the third one we will mention for each topic, we will see how many people have responded. So we will show that listing, and based on that result, we will pick one for or what Sagar has advised that person to pick or not is what. We will do. That's the case study in the next episode, episode number 5. I hope this was useful. Now getting back to Sagar for a bit about discussing on the process side and getting some of his input.
Yeah, I mean, finding that five professional seems to be very interesting. And as we discussed on the same thing a few days back when we came up, when you said about this idea and all stuff, it's really you categorizing your clients into five different pieces, wherein you already bought in an idea and you are now have an idea, and right now you're looking for those five clients of certain categories. This seems to be very interesting thing, which we can only speak more when we have data on
Right.
that, when the
Abs-
response comes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as you guys know, we have not done a formal introduction. We have done that in the first episode, but I just want to reiterate here: we both are not have not studied sales, but currently sales is our uh, s- scope of
Bread and
work,
butter.
or yeah, current bread and butter. That's a better way to put. So we are currently doing sales, so we are learning as well as when we are implementing, and we don't want to be a pushy salesman, or we are just trying to figure out how is there a very simpler or easier way to do it. And yeah, that's pretty much I want to reiterate. And one of the thing about data that Sagar mentioned, because I come from a software background, so data is something very been an integral part of my whole journey. So one of the thing is that Sagar mentioned while we were working together on creating this framework, making it step by step, is what one question he raised was what happens when, how do we know that if we have picked the right profession while selecting the five? So the answer, it's not my answer, it's the one which when we learn all over the place or the books we read, the answer can be we will never know that unless and until we try this process and the response comes. Until that time we will not know, and once we come to know the responses, we can pretty much figure out. So in the whole process, this is the first time where we are interacting with the outer world. Still we are not selling anything, still we are gathering information about our understanding, and we are just waiting for to get the answer. So the friction is very less. Go out, try it out. Sending out 50 tweets in these days are uh, quite simple. It's it's either that in the Twitter world, I mean, somebody, one of my colleague who heads a big position in a financial industry, has told me, Vikram, how are you using Twitter? Either because either it has been used by bots or by trolls. So I cannot challenge that thought. But how I use personally is I talk to individual on Twitter. Like you send a message, you use that from that point of view where you don't uh, post content for the masses or anything. You pick someone, you go tag them and ask them. Even if you have to do it 10, 50, 100 times, you just do that, because those 100 tweets gets lost anywhere. Like yeah, I did a experiment which is the topic for some other day, but you don't have to worry. That's what I mean. Sending 50 tweets is not a big deal. Nobody will even notice. Only the one person you tagged will notice you, and that's what you want. You want to get noticed by that special person, either he be related to the profession or topic, and you are asking a very simple question: do you think this profession people should be active or not on social media? A very simple question. Some people say will say yes, some people she will say no, and most of them will not reply. So that will be the data in summary. But we I am looking forward what the volunteer brings up, and it would be really, if my prediction is scattered, it will be fun because then I will learn something. And if it is not, then it will be interesting to see what data it brings and if there is a tie or not. So very excited for the next episode, Sagar. Hope to see you next week at the same time.
Yeah, sure. With the results then.
Yeah, with the results. Yeah, so Sagar is the one who is working with the volunteer. I am the one who is a bit away, so that we I can work on the process and be not influenced by the day-to-day challenges. I can kind of a bit of a distance from that. That's the whole idea. Nothing specific, and we are two people interacting, so that as much real challenges we can bring it up, the answer we can solve. If you have watched till now, just leave a like to the video so that it reaches more people during so that they get an opportunity to work on an idea. Simple step by step. It's more like a master class, a semi podcast, but just sharing ideas. If anybody wants to try, they can try, and it it has made me I haven't been speaking to Sagar this much. He is my first cousin, but since the 4 episodes that we have spoken together, and after this also we have interaction offline so that we can prepare for the next week and process an idea. So last week I have posted on my status like show by cousins, for cousins, and two cousins, something like that. You can watch my WhatsApp status for to read that. So that's how it is now.
Yeah. I've been coming back to the topic which we already spoke. The I just wanted to highlight one thing. Choosing this five category of professions of your clients, it's pretty important. As you said, tweeting and other things are pretty common or same stacks we gonna post everywhere. But choosing, as you also know, it's a difficult process of
Yeah.
choosing five professions. If you concentrate and you win that,
Uh,
then definitely the rest process follows.
yes.
So we'll see
Yeah.
how it all goes.
Yes, you're finding your tribe, as Seth Godin says, one of the biggest, influential marketer we had. I've read many of his books. I like his style. Yeah, finding your tribe or serving your tribe is very important and also very difficult in way if you are not really interested. That's what coming back to topic one. If the topic is interesting to you, you will find out the profession also, but as Sagar rightly mentioned, it could be one of the most important step in the whole process, and this could make or break your first client. So spend as much time as you can to filter it out. Bring your top five, whatever. If you are not able to, at least list down five, whatever you are able to. And you can also use Twitter to figure out, share your topic with some people, put that word on the topic. Like, just if for example, if you put sales, click on the people and see what kind of people comes, and ask them what are different profession in sales that people do, and get information from that. That also is possible. There are a lot of people to help out. If you have any topic, just mention in the comments below, and maybe if we read some, I mean, we'll definitely read if there is nobody commenting here, so that if you will be the only comment to read, so we'll read, and we might also demonstrate how we can search it, and we can figure out, we will do it, and we can give the names of the profession of that particular topic that we found on Twitter. So not that we know the answer, we'll just find the answer. We are just showing you the way how to find it, so you can find it for yourself. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
Saga,
you.
for your time.
Thank you, people. Thank you, Vikram. Thank you a lot.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you next time. Bye bye.